So we're back with another range extender for the new Phantom 4 Pro Plus Obsidian. That is a mouthful. This time we're going to be installing the Forhawks XR, which is about the size of a small laptop, and the P4P Plus Obsidian is a little bit different than the regular P4P. So I'm going to open this up and I'm going to show you how to install the Forhawks XR. Okay, let's do this. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove these, and you can do that just by putting your fingernail underneath of them and pulling them off. You'll see that it has a little bit of sticky tape underneath. That sticky tape, we want to try and keep that on there. I'm going to try and straighten that out. Straighten that back out. We're going to set that aside. Now you want to keep everything on the same side. And this one here, the tape stayed on the remote, came off of the rubber grommet. When you take the screws out of here, you want to keep everything laid out. You'll see I've got a napkin right here. I'm going to lay everything out as it came out of the remote. So we'll start with the HDMI cover here. We want to do that because there's some ribbon cables under here that we've got to release. Here is just going to pop straight up. The panel comes off. A screw down in there. You'll have to take the whole thing back apart. So I'm going to loosen the rest of these before I just take them all the way out. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I don't want to have one locked all the way down and then I take the other ones out. That panel's going to want to come up, and when it does, it's going to stress one of the corners. Some of these are not magnetic on purpose because you're dealing around other components that can't have that magneticity to it. So then I can pull this off very gently. It's being held on by these little teeny wires. Can lay that off to the side. Yeah, I'm not even going to pull that off. Okay, so right here you have a clip holder. It's going to hold this whole ribbon. This is a different type of ribbon. It's an exposed ribbon. You pull that off there. And then underneath here, you're going to have one up here, one back behind here, and then one more right here, and I'll try and get you under there to take a look at that. There you go. One here and two over here. And those do have to be taken off. The thermal paste under here, that's absolutely wrong. That's not really doing much for heat dissipation. That stuff, what it should have on there is a silver paste, and it should be completely covering every bit of it in a very, very thin layer, so that this heat bar here will pull evenly the heat off of that processor under there. So that just pops backwards, and then you can simply pull that out. And make sure when you put this back on, you'll see fingerprints on there. Make sure you wipe those fingerprints off really well. Now we just have to remove 1, 2, 3, and 4, and this cover will pop off. So with these, you can use your fingernail these will just pop right out. I'm going to take your Phillips head screwdriver once again. Out, or loose I should say. If you have a battery box, it's going to come with a couple pieces of foam inside. And what I want to do, just to protect this screen, is I just want to put those pieces of foam right between that. Okay. Now that we have all the screws taken out, we can simply push your thumb up here, put your 4 fingers up here, and you're gonna push and pull. And it should pop right open. Now when you open this up, there's going to be the battery connected at the bottom. So you don't want to just go lifting it right up. You can push these through. And then these 2 wires you don't have to push through because they're attached to the back. But when you open this up, you'll see right here, that's where the battery connects. So you've got to squeeze the top of that right there, and it'll release that. So that's the back. You can set that aside. Your battery's in here. So as I said, the Obsidian edition is a bit different than the white remote, the regular Phantom 4 Pro. You'll notice that your antennas come in on the side rather than up in here, crammed between the stick mount and the board, so it's a lot easier to get off. Now, the kit comes with pre-made lines, and these black pieces up here, they're just protectors. They protect the threads, so we'll pull those off at the end of installing it. And then it also comes with the exterior antenna cables. So before you go unhooking everything, you're going to want to pull the camera wheels. This is going to lift up and scoot back. And we'll do the same to the other one. Pull back and lift up, that is. And now we have room to our antenna cables. Now this is going to be the fun part. You're going to need a set of pliers for this. And you're just going to squeeze these right here. And when you squeeze them together, what you're going to do is you want to get low. See how my finger's down here? So you want to get low, and you want to force your small finger really tight in there, and then you're just going to flex your fist. That's going to put enough pressure to pull that out of there, or it should. So then once you get these out, you'll go ahead and pull these out. You got to kind of manipulate them. And you just pull it out and set that aside. And then you pop the other one off there. And that'll come right out. Okay. Now you'll move to put this one, and then we'll start at the left there. We'll try and put it back the same way it came out. I highly doubt it goes back in that way. Actually, let's lay that out first to see if it's going to fit. Okay. So it comes in underneath the remote, underneath the arm over here as well. You'll just snap that in. Let me take your second one. And it just comes, so it goes under here, under the top right of this joystick, under the bottom left of the joystick. So those are both attached now. And up at the top here, there should be some slots. Yeah. So these are only going to go in one way. They'll fall down into that groove. These things right here. And that's it. one can be a little difficult to get back up in here. I'm going to watch that cable there and make sure it doesn't. Okay, so before you go putting those in there, make sure you snug all those down. Do not over tighten. You're not going to be standing on these things. Use them to hold your body weight, so they don't take a lot. Just nice and snug. Double check. And go to the other one. Double check. I don't like the way that sits. Let's see if I have enough room. There we go. So, if you didn't see, if my hands were in the way, I moved the antenna wire above it. So I didn't like the way it was pinching underneath there. Let's make sure nothing is being pinched. Does it go underneath there? I don't think I'm forgetting anything. I don't see anything being pinched. Now before you go putting everything back together, flip it over and shake it. Make sure you didn't have any foreign objects fall down in there. And there you go. Yeah, this came undone. Yeah, no easy way of doing this, folks. Probably have to deal with it after I get done here. Try not to push on the wires, because if you do, you could actually pinch them and cut them right off. Then you have these. These aren't terribly bad to put in. That one went in. And that one went in. Okay, everything is in. You'll see right here, you want to make sure that the bottom goes right in that groove just like that. And then it lines up on there. Otherwise you'll pinch that underneath of it. Now you can go ahead and tighten them up all the way. And we're going to put the screws back in the same way we took them out. Get our Allen wrench here. We're going to put the bottom, and you'll notice there is little notches in those. Those notches are going to go at the top. I'm just going to push those back in. Got a square part right there. It's going to line up right here. Make sure there's no debris under there. Push those down. And we're done. And go ahead and pull these plastic caps off. That just snaps on like that on your handle in the holes, and that lines up. You'll push the screw up in here and you'll screw it down. Pretty self-explanatory. Pull out your snap-on wrench here that they send with you. Now you're not going to torque this down. you're going to snug it. That's it. If you torque it, you'll spin this whole thing in here and you could break your wire inside. You do not want to do that. This time I'm going to grab my Craftsman wrench, which I just seen sitting here, and it is an 8mm. Make sure you angle that to where it has the least tension. You're just going to snug that down. That angle looks good there. And we're done.